Guys, Veebat here with another Veeplays, hopping into the Tier 8 British Premium of the Seafang. And the Seafang is going to be a pretty good multi-role premium aircraft. It's been around for quite a while now, and in my opinion I feel like it takes the best of both worlds from the Spitfire line as well as the British multi-role line. Now, comparing this aircraft directly to a Tempest, you'll find that this aircraft has much better maneuverability by comparison, but still has some pretty decent speed performance. And while it does have an air-to-ground loadout, bear in mind that you can either pick bombs or air-to-ground rockets, but you're going to be getting about half of the armament for the air-to-ground. Go ahead and put a little dab of the F2 key here. We are going up against a Specialist IL-10M as well as an enemy attacker, so we are actually out-tiered. We're going to go ahead and drop our big ordnance on the center site here and then immediately kick our guns upward and look for some targets that are of the aerial variety. See what we can do to aid our friend Zimwell here as we climb up to outside of our altitude comfort zone and at an angle we probably shouldn't be because we're probably going to stall out. Oh, but we got him. Let's get that nose over and find another target. I would really like to prevent him from taking out the site that we just put a bunch of effort into. Come on now, get him. There we go. Whew. Hi Zimwell, very close on that one. The reload on this is about 120 seconds plain, but I have opted for going with the aerodynamic pylons, and while that isn't helping my reload, it is going to minimize the effects of the drag, and that is because this aircraft right from the get-go already gets a consumable slot for the air-to-ground ordnance, and it also gets, ooh, let's ping him, no, there we go, for the air-to-ground ordnance as well as getting an equipment slot for air-to-ground ordnance as I try to finish my thoughts. Did he come back for us? Yes, he did. Attacker. Stop being indecisive, V. Easy targets are abound. We don't want the enemy to get this one, so we picked it off. The attacker is fast, but he's doing a lot of maneuvering down here, so he's given up a bit of his speed, and we should be able to outturn him here. Mouse is getting stuck on my bad choice of placement for the cord. There we go. Oh, hello. Just in cord. Got it. That is not an aircraft we want to head on. Let's go ahead and try and double back on him. Should have paid attention to my target, V. Should have paid attention, but you can see the guns are very reminiscent of what we've experienced in the past with a lot of the other British guns, because this is just going to be another set of Hispanos out here. Perfect. J7W2, major threat for us. He does have comparable maneuverability. Wow, hey guys. Let's go ahead and go over here while we're all going this way anyways. The enemy is definitely going for our military facilities, so if we want to try and even the score, we really need to put some good effort into going after theirs. I think I only need to drop a single bomb here. That'll be helpful. If that is the case, we'll save the other one in reserve. I was worried this was the enemy attacker, but it is not. It is going to be the 209 Alpha. Perfect. We do have a single air-to-ground ordnance left. Oh, it takes two, huh? Go ahead and drop that one. That should be more than enough. Again, that mouse cord is getting in the way. Let's head back for the middle. Centralized location to defend from. So yeah, the Seafang, it's a great plane. It has good guns. The maneuverability is pretty decent. The altitude performance, while it is lackluster, it is a British multi-role, so it can power through it in a lot of instances. Much like we see with the Spitfire and the Tempest alike, the speed is fairly decent, and the air-to-ground ordnance is just there to kind of augment the overall capabilities. The gain in maneuverability is definitely going to be noted and a welcome change of pace. Whoop. Can we get around on him? Looks like he's trying to break off. Get a few brushing passes on him. Gotta be wary of an enemy aircraft coming in on us here. The attacker, enemy player, break turn. Try and get those guns back around if we can. Maybe we can finish off this aircraft. Yes. And now we're in a dogfight with this airframe, but we also got an IL-10M. Wow. You're either angry or desperate. Let's go ahead and throw an F7 up here. Maybe we'll get some sympathetic help here from our ally. Catching tail gunner fire. Hey there, friendo. How's that for a stall turn? Ooh, kind of saw that coming. We are not at squall line, but guess what? They spent so much time tracking me down outside the zone. I feel as though that was an effective use of our time. We still have both military facilities, and an IL-10M definitely should have been putting the gravity of his effort on getting one of those military sites. It does have an air-to-air capability, but it's not necessarily going to be the end-all be-all. Use some of that boost, get up to some good speed. Have to remember that this aircraft getting to stall speed in the nose-up position can kick its nose over very easily with a quick acceleration. And you can note that in one of those maneuvers I made with this airframe. Let's go ahead and... Oh, I was going to drop both bombs there, but unneeded. Solid victory on our part. Zimwell, great game as always. He's been flying that Spit 14 for a while. Not sure if he's going for the attacker or not, but I do see him quite a bit. Let's get back to the hangar, talk a little bit more about the loadout like I discussed before, and see what the payout is on a Tier 8 British Premium multi-role. From my recollection, it usually pays out pretty well. We are running a premium account, so do bear that in mind that that will affect the overall payout. And we're looking at 189,000 for a personal point spread of 78.90. Not bad at all. We are going with converting our free experience over because why do we need to build up a big pool that we just have to convert with gold? We managed to take out 8 enemy aircraft as well as not destroying any ground targets, I guess. Well, we did contribute about 7,800 damage to ground targets at the very least, and that does help augment your overall output. Now, this was a shorter match due to the fact that we were putting a lot of effort into taking those military facilities, but you can see here when it comes to the bombs and rockets, the damage coming out of the bombs is going to be 8,600 with a 126-second reload with our current configuration, while if we were to mount the rockets, it would reduce the reload time down to 95. Now, you can easily go with the rockets. The effect on your overall airspeed is actually going to be the same. There's no change in either doing the bombs or the rockets, so you don't need to make a choice based on that. But I do suggest that you carry one of the two. Why do I suggest that? Because when you go on over to services, you'll note here that immediately you're able to put on an outboard piece of equipment. I was mistaken about the consumable. I stand corrected, but it does increase the capability of your systems. Now you see here it does increase the range of rockets, so I should have been using those, but I did like the bombs and I wanted to try them out. For the engine, I have gone with the high-speed gas turbine because we already get about 15 seconds boost, and I like being able to get that extra little oomph. But I do think that if you were to go with the uprated engine, you'd still be okay. We wanted to kind of maximize the multi-role aspect of this game, so in addition to giving it a bit of a speed boost with the improved or the high-speed gas turbine, we've also gone with lightweight wing frame to augment its maneuverability a little bit. And then typically I go for a gyroscopic sight on most aircraft that are going to rely on their forward-firing armament. Eventually we will get the option in specialist configuration to be able to put in a consumable underneath airframe, which would probably end up being the hardened, the pneumatic control assist, which will allow us to be able to get tighter turns for a 10-second period. This pilot skills are completely arbitrary because I am just using this as a training platform, but you could easily use it to train a multitude of different aircraft, especially if you were using a multi-role that had a bonus to air-to-ground ordnance. This aircraft would still be a very viable trainer because you get air-to-ground ordnance. So I do enjoy this airframe. It has never really steered me wrong. I've always had a good game in it. Win or lose, we've always been a very strong contributor. And it's just generally a fun plane to fly. It doesn't feel like the normal slog that you have when you're going through a multi-role. Multi-roles tend to be a little bit more nuanced in the way that they operate because they lose out to so many aircraft, especially an altitude fighter will always trump a multi-role if it doesn't have strong turn capability. But we can see here that this aircraft's maneuverability is actually going to be very good, with a 10.6 second turn time, which is going to put it in the realm, or at least in the ballpark, of a lot of the multi-role fighters, or a lot of the altitude fighters that are out there. If we wanted to, we could go so far as to even put in the lightweight power unit here, but just bear in mind you're going to be sacrificing some of that speed and engine power that you would have available. But, you know, your choice and your mileage may vary. Anyways, guys, I do enjoy this aircraft. If you are interested in purchasing it because you are grinding British aircraft and you are looking for a premium to play, this is viable, but do bear in mind that if you spend the time and effort, you can unlock a Vampire F1 for free, and it is also a very good crew trainer as well. But the Seafang's been around a while. It's very tried and true, and a lot of people that I know that have this aircraft have always had a good time. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.
Just like a soldier, I keep on moving forward, always getting closer, marching to the top.